YaHUaH be with you. Shalom, guys. Welcome back to the channel. It is your girl, Shaba. I am late this strong, but I was doing something for our communities. So, connected in spirit and truth, we are having a coffee fundraiser, True Giving Bean. So come out, support us. The link will be down in the description. We have seller IDs. You can enter a 1, a 6, or an 8 here. We have ground coffees. We have whole bean coffees. We have K-cups for the K-cup drinkers. Loose teas for my tea drinkers. If you need one of those infuser baskets, we got you covered. Cocoa, chai, and shortbread cookies are also available. Fill out the order form here, submit, and support us as we are working on buying a piece of land so that we can come together as a community, come out of the matrix, come out of the beast system, come out of her, my people, grow our own food, fellowship, live amongst one another, like-minded people, you know, the whole shebang. So that is what I was doing. That commercial will be soon coming, so stay tuned for that as well. But go ahead and click that link in the description. I will probably leave the QR code somewhere here as well, and go on and support us. So the video, this one, we've got a jam-packed schedule. We've got these words to look at here. So we're not going to be going back and forth between screens really that much and looking up, you know, the strongs and this and that. I've taught you guys that in the first 3 videos, and you should really be doing your own research and checking this stuff out for yourself. So jumping right into it, we are going to start off with this one. Oh, another announcement. If you didn't know, if you didn't get the notifications, make sure you hit that like bell, notifications, and subscribe button, because you would have missed out on my single. Well, it's not really a single, it's part of my No Consent album, but it is dropped and it is on every major platform, so go and check it out, guys.
The peace, let them take Babylon off the wicked peace. This war for the people, now bow to Rome. Treat righteousness for black top throne. Me not consent.
So go on and check that out, guys. You want to hear that tune. Anyways, jumping right on into this. So we're going to kick it off with this one here. We looked at God last week, so this is another form of that word coming from this Latin word here. Traces back to Proto-Indo-European, which they shorten as pi, and it means, this is that word there, and it simply means like a shining one, which we see with, you know, Hashatan. That's what he's referred to. Anyways, it's from the same root of course, we know this one here, everything pretty much ties back to him. This one here, where we get words like this from when we're really dealing with religion, and especially Christianity. And this one here, this, you'll see it this way, which is pretty much a misspelling of the word, but anyway, it's a spiritual slip as well. Combination of diet, you know, the ritual consumption or sacrifice, especially when you're eating these unclean things, the swine especially, you know, your sea rodents and all of that. Anything that does not have scales and fins is not clean, but that's another video for another time. So you're doing the diet plus the entity, and then you come up with these mighty ones. So this IETY or ITY, those suffixes are almost always linked to Latin religious venerations. Of course, it's gonna 9 times out of 10 be a other mighty one. So it's always gonna be, whether it's a named mighty one or a non-named mighty one, it can refer to them as a collective, a generic term, or whatever, but it is absolutely tied to these Roman mighty ones, never YaHUaH. So this word here we looked at, it has a connection to this Piety or Pious. It's from this Latin word here, meaning duty, devotion, or respect towards the mighty ones, one's country, and one's parents. So it was the chief Roman virtue, especially towards these ones here. Oh, these are the planets. There are no planets. But anyways, that's another teaching for another time. But these ones here, which we will talk about in a later video. So, of course, nothing to do with righteousness, but always about a loyalty to the Roman state religion. So in this thing here, which is like a poem, this is referred to as this. So it's the motto of the Roman virtue, not, of course, not Torah obedience. So again, its allegiance is to the empire or Roman mighty ones. It is not equivalent to things like Amuna, which is belief, the Bar, which is the word, or Torah, which of course we know is the law. So here we have this word, and this was a big one here, especially when you're looking at the entertainment industry, this here, and they come up with this and this. This one is another video for another time. So this word, and this word all come from the same thing, the same word. So you want to say, oh, the Most High, or God is so this, and in his this. And it's the same thing as saying this, Diva. So it comes from this Latin word here, which comes from this and also this. These are the roots for it. So it means a God-like, esteemed human, a wicked rule or spirit, especially referring to the ones that have the Roman emperors who have esteemed themselves, sort of like a pharaoh or something, esteemed themselves to like a God. So they were called the Divis, which is the Gods after death. And this one ending in the US was the state term for men elevated to that God status like a pharaoh. So this, when you think that you're referring to the Most High, oh, this here is such a wonderful word. It's not, it's a mighty one. It also comes from the same root as fortune telling. Well, shouldn't say this word either, salaki, as this one we looked at last week, or the week before, last week. Yeah, because it's God. This one. So telling ones like future or stuff like that, invoking the Divine. You're relying on those mighty ones there. So in Roman law, Divine, authority to rule, the right to rule, to this, to enslave, and the name of those mighty ones. So the Diva is the feminine form of it. This word here that we looked at, or an idol. Originally refers to the female being, later applied to, we know, the singers, the celebrities, the stars. It literally means this, the Goddes, female esteem. And we looked at this word last week, last chunk. All right, in modern speech, it describes a woman who demands worship. I don't like that word. I'm pretty sure that's going to be another video for another time. Attention and control. It's that Jezebel spirit. Not simply prideful, but it's ruling, entitled, and self-exalted, which we know that these are all things against what Torah teaches us, especially as a woman. So it is sorcery language tied to emperor worship, telling of like one's future and replacement, things like that. So this word here, oh, I'm so this, I'm high and this and that. And also what you call the people, Saints, and some of the like apostles and things, they call them that. It's from this Latin word here, meaning this, which is kadash. This is another video for another time. Consecrated, placed apart, that sort of thing. So it's a Roman Catholic root, shrines, things like that. So it was invoked in mass rituals, and these type of chants, they would repeat it 3 times, and it's used not to replace the Hebrew word kadash, which they use this and they use this, and it's kadash, placed apart, made distinct, cleansed, but they're not the same. So this word here, we looked at this, we touched on this last chunk in the last video when we looked at this scripture here, YaHUaH, 6, or what it says, Isaiah 65, 11 and 12. So I do have that one pulled up, so we'll look at that quick and fast because we did this in the last video. So we've got, but you, those who forsake YaHUaH, YaHUaH, there's no W, there's no E. So this definitely is a name, and this is a demon. We should have looked at that last week when we looked at like Lord and those types of words there. But we didn't. It's still on to come. So those who forsake YaHUaH, who forgot the mountain, my Kadash, as you can see, this is Kadash, Kuf, Dalet, Shin, and then a suffix is a Yud for my Kadash, my placed apart, my consecrated name he's talking about, who prepared for, we looked at this, G-O-D, G-A-D, however you want to spell it, it's still pronounced the same way, a table, and who furnished for this one here, or it's also the D-E-S-T-I-N-Y. In your NIV, it'll say that one instead of this one here. But if we look at those words, this is the prefix here, as we touched on last chunk, and the word is a mayim, a nun, and a yud. So M-N-E. So that word is M-A-N-Y, which we use for like plenty, a lot of money, slaki, much. A drink offering. So you pour out drink offerings for this one here, and you make a table for this one here. And forsake who? The proper name, YaHUaH. So that's a new one for me. This one here, not so much. I always felt it in my root, but this one, I don't know, probably because we're saying other things. I don't know. I don't get every one of them right, but I get a lot of words don't sit well with my root, and it's a gift from YaHUaH, Barak YaHUaH, because I didn't even realize it until last chunk when I was making this video. From Latin, this word here, it's to make firm, to establish, to determine. It's connected to this one again. Something like all of these are connected to this one here, G-O-D, and pagan determinism, where people are ruled by the stars, the G-O-Ds, or blind, L-U-C-K, not the Most High, not YaHUaH. So it links directly to demon, or slaki, to wicked one worship. And I don't like that. I really gotta look at that word. So that might be coming next strong. We'll see what YaHUaH lays in my heart to bring out. So we looked at this one last week. You can, look in the playlist for that. And this one here, false power over time. This word here, appointment. So it is the name of a mighty one, and you can see it clearly in scripture. It's in NIV, and it's in your King James as well. So if you want to say like a righteous time, use like appointed time, which is a muad. What's this is spelled incorrectly? Muad. Purpose or a direction by YaHUaH. This one here we said, and I said it lots of times, and it ended up gave me a vibe. So went to go look at it, and it's basically the same thing as this first one here that we're looking at. It's all attached to mighty ones. It's a Greek word, which you can look it up in your Strongs, which we've looked at before. This, and I never liked this name on people. It always meant like something horrible to me. So that's why, because it literally is a demon name. So it wasn't evil at first. It originally meant spirit being, or considered like a guiding force. These two here, you hear about these. I don't know if these are demon names or not, so I'm simply not gonna say them. You hear about these in like what's that? Philosophy and stuff like that. Said that they had a personal this that led them around, so like a guiding force. So later, the Romans and the Istians, because they're all one and the same, turned it into evil rule or evil spirit, but it never meant a fallen malakim or fallen, what you would call as an angel, a fallen messenger, which that is an obert term. It's a Greek sorcery category. So in operate, the term is going to be shadim, destructive, corrupting spirits, or ru ra'ah, evil ru, or sha'irim. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Sha'irim. I'm not for sure. There might be like another vowel point in here somewhere, but these are what the letters are. Sheen, Ayin, Yud, Rosh, Yud, Main. So Sha'irim. I'm going to pronounce it as. Anyways, goat-shaped being in the desert. You can see that one in YaHUaH or Leviticus 17:7. So it's not a righteous translation. It's not in Torah, but it is definitely a mighty one. They, in the Greek Roman religion, they weren't always evil, but they were powerful ru and intermediaries, which we know talks about that a lot in the Torah. So again, the false prophets, the mystics, the psychics. I think this one is a demon as well. This prefix here, so I'm not gonna say that one anymore. Slaki. They still called on the higher ones, the higher guiding spirits, which nobody is your guiding spirit anyway. So that's completely an error and taking esteem from YaHUaH, which he said in his 10 words, you shall have no other mighty ones before me, and to bow down and to worship them. So it's not a clean word at all, and it is actually, again, tied to those wicked forces. So we say this, oh, he's a straight up liar, or that's a straight up whatever. And we use this word here. Well, we looked last week at this demon, Slaki, at this mighty one here. So we looked last chung at this mighty one here, the this, which we know is a double whammy. If you didn't take a look at it, go back and look at this one, which is the Roman fertility mighty one. Linked, we looked at this one, this, they're the same somebody, with all of her many names. So we looked at what this word means. So this together means in blank blank. So we're not even using it right, and we're calling on the mighty one anyway. So in tube belief, we'll say, even though that doesn't equivalent when you're talking about mighty ones. You can't put YaHUaH with mighty ones, but I'm saying it to keep from saying these mighty ones here. So of course we know this one was worshipped by the women only, for fertility spells and that type of thing. So anyone who says this, they're unknowingly echo in the name of this mighty one here, this woman mighty one. It's a coded vowel in Latin to that mighty one there. So other words you can say: true, authentic, upright, established in truth, if you want to use it. These don't really have to be wicked terms, but when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about, you're not going to say, oh, he's an authentic liar, oh, he's an upright liar. or, you know, a negative connotation. But you can use, like I said earlier, straight up, downright, you know, if you want to make emphasis on whatever you're saying. So this one here, leave the Latin alone. We can't really speak this English because it's all riddled in English. This is why we got this show here. So anyways, that ties of course we've seen this. So this word is this, and we see it. You can do a simple Google search, DuckDuckGo search, the demon name here, and it will tell you that it is Faith personified as a lady. See it here. The Roman lady, mighty one of trust. Because that's what you say. Oh, I got Faith. It's belief, trust, these types of things. Amuna is what it is. So you can, a quick Google search on that. So it also ties to, you know, trust and loyalty. When someone is, you know, acting properly, like in their marriage, they say, oh, they're, you know, this. Right? So it all ties back to this. And when they're not, then they say words like this. Right? Lots of marriages break up for this right here, right? And it's the same as that, right? Because when you're being true and honest, you're being this in your marriage. But when you're not, you're being this, right? Because it's all the same demon. Saki. That's going to be a tough one. It's all tied to this one here. So it becomes contractual, not relational, but you're also calling on a mighty one. So this is the offspring of this one here. It's an explicit oath of submission, swearing loyalty to a mighty one, a crown, or a system, not to YaHUaH, not to the Most High. So breaking the commands. So again, we looked at all of these. They all mean the same thing. So you're invoking an oath and an allegiance, making yourself an attachment to something you have no business. And it's tied to this one here. You know, like the shoe, like the brand, which is the same as this. And did do a teaching on this, an excellent teaching, but it goes even deeper than this. So did a teaching on this here. And I've subscribed to this on my personal page. Try to keep this one pretty clear. But you can check it out. So he also did this one here and some other words that we're also going to go over, and I'll refer you back to this video here, and also this one here. Oh, that was a word I was supposed to do. So we will actually do an impromptu, because we should have looked at this L word here, because they're all the same one. She's the same one. So these two videos you can check out. They give a little bit more on this. I didn't even know he went over this. See? I watched these so long ago. I can't remember what was on here. But yeah, so right there you can go to it and get some more information there. All right, so he talks about the flight demon, but it goes deeper than that. So this word here is a Greek word. You can look it up, G3529, and they use it for this. So it's a militant type of overcoming through strength, speed, and domination. So she was a winged enforcer, of course, of this one. They all tie back to this one. We looked at this in that first video or two. So she's flying into battle to anoint the overcomer. She's depicted in war chariots holding swords, wreaths, or shields. And she's not a messenger like this one here, but she's a conquest judge. And whoever she lands on, they get the power. So she is flight because she moves over the battlefield and she has her wings. We can pull her up. Here she is here. So, and they love to put this on here. But it tells you plain and clear, she is the mighty one of this wing figure. So, stop saying this when you're talking about YaHUaH and his things. Stop saying it, period, because it's a mighty one. But she moves over the battlefields. She overcomes, or this word specifically, and this word I'll use for like overcoming, to defeat somebody. They are all tied back to her, and they represent these mighty ones here. We looked at this one briefly in the same one we looked at, ZEUS. I think that was the first one, or maybe the second one, as a celebratory possession. So this one here, this was my mom's name, and this, I named my daughter this. So this might be part of why the wicked people have taken her, because she has now back embraced this and won't tell people her name is Tashuya and not to call her this. That's my fault. I wasn't in the truth when I had her, and I didn't know, and I named her after my mom's name. So she's got some demons attached to her that we did did we renounce and denounce them? I think we did renounce and denounce them. But she's picked them back up and out over there in that captivity and in bondage that she's in. She's been trafficked and kidnapped. You can look at some of my older videos, or my the Kadash Sheep 77 page, The Woman in Gold. So this, it actually comes from this, but it's the Roman counterpart to this Greek word here. So the blood-soaked temples and stuff like that. She was worshipped in the state temples in Rome, especially during times of war, defeats, coronations and oaths, empire expansions, and things like that. So they swore loyalty before her image, the Roman soldiers, her temple, and this heel was tied to it after the blood overcoming. So it's like a shalom type, true domination, but not really shalom, but this is another word for another time. So she's always winged. It's a flight deception. It's a decoy. The wings, because she moves fast across the battlefield like an unseen force, choosing who's going to be the winner, right? She represents FATE, which we looked at, like DESTINY that we talked about earlier, and anointing in war. Her wings, of course, they have nothing to do with righteous elevation, but they're quick. She's quick. She'll overpower you. So that's why you still see that they've got the wings on it. It's an empowered movement. You can, I don't even know if they still have it, because they've done a tube job of trying to scrub this story from the internet, but this brand was originally supposed to be called Dimension 6, And the night before they were supposed to launch or have their little board meeting or whatever, the CEO or whatever the top guy of this, now called this brand, this mighty one, came to him in a dream and told him to dedicate and name the brand after him. After her. So this brand was originally supposed to be called Dimension 6. And after this mighty one came into a dream to him and told him to, name it after him, and he'll have great success, which we've seen that he does. This brand even has a monopoly on colors. Like, other brands can't even use some colors. That's how wicked it is. So stop wearing these if you're in the truth. This is blatantly having a graven image. They make these things. They got the wing, the swoosh, the wing, the flight, and you're wearing it around. You're bringing a remembrance, a zakar to it. You are promoting it. We went out to a street meeting one time in an assembly, and I told them about this because a bunch of people had it at our feedback session. And I said, this is the reason why it isn't receptive as well. We're literally carrying demons and trying to deliver people. It's not going to work. I got shut down. So that's why I'm moving different in this season. I'm moving different. Have to shake the dust off of, my foot them, and go where YaHUaH's called me to go, where I'm received, where people can hear me, where my gifts and talents are going to be utilized. This is no joke to be playing with. And they kind of compared it to Apple. Well, you got an Apple phone and they're everything in the industry and this and that, all the soaps and the cosmetics, everything, because you don't make a name for yourself unless you bow down, right? So pretty much everything we consume, from the brands we eat, from the brands we use for our products and these and that, they all worship Ashatan. But it's a difference when this name is actually a mighty one and when they have actually dedicated their brand to a mighty one. Oh, well, it's like, in the garden, and Adam and YaHUaH ate from the apple, the forbidden fruit, and so long as I know from my research, an apple is not a mighty one. It's not given over to a mighty one. It isn't a logo, or it hasn't been, whatever, for a mighty one. No matter what the wickedness that it may mean and what they do and whatever. You can't escape it unless you actually make your own things. Which again is what we're trying to do with the fundraiser for the coffee fundraiser. So we can get out of this beast system, because it's all wicked and built to keep you from the Most High, with these simple things that we're speaking, that we're doing, that we're putting on our skin, that we're putting in our mouth. So we have to clean up ourselves. We really have to clean up ourselves and like I said, give YaHUaH something for work with. If he sees you trying, he won't condemn you for that. But if you is like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, you're never going to be able to get, this is a demon. This brand is esteemed and given over and named after a demon. It's way wickeder than any of the other ones, or some of the other brands that are given over to demons. This one, you see the fat Buddhist. I used to wear this as well. Burned up all this stuff after I watched YaShai's video. Burned up all of this stuff. You know how much money I used to pay for a pair of pants? Like $200. Like a freaking idiot. Burned it all up. Jordans me collect from high school. Closet full of them. Took them all down. Burned them up. My cousin said, oh, you could have gave them to me, because she still wears them. Whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving that to nobody. I'm burning it where it should go. Burned. So that's what I did. Burned up all of this stuff. Sports, we see that they always, this is like the most brand that they get, all on their uniforms and this and that. Why? Because it ties back to that one that we looked at with Zeus. This. All ties back to this one. So, this brand You should not own none at all. Burn it, get rid of it. And you wonder why things are happening. You wonder why, whatever. This. Some of it's like, oh, well, it might be an object or something you're holding on to that carries. But this. Start with this. Get it out. All right. So I think I harped on that enough. So it's a ritual repeat of her old function, and it's a worship. Who gets the crown? Who gets the ring? That's what we see all sports are. And people worship these teams. You know, I used to love the Steelers. Still love the Steelers. I mean, it's my hometown. Not really like love. That's probably not an accurate word for it. But I would still rep the Steelers if I would be in any sort of something. I don't even watch this stuff. That's so far from who I am now. But it's still a worship portal. Like we talked about, it's the swoosh stylized as a wing. Again, named explicitly after this demon. There's no if, ands, buts, maybes. Maybe they have allegiance. Maybe they're sold out. Maybe they worship devils. This is the demon's name. The global empire. We talked about that. Domination. Certain colors, other brands cannot even touch because they have built a monopoly on it. So when you chant this is another one for another time. Especially while wearing the emblem, you're invoking her rule of dominance on you. So again, not really about flight, although she is the winged lady devil. But she's the one who takes high ground, who gets lifted above others by force, not righteousness. So she's also, to the rabbi, I went to YaHUaH's video because she's also tied to that one, which when we talk about freedom, we talk about this and that statue, Aman, really, that they dress up as a woman. This here, it all ties back to this mighty one right here. And I didn't do this beforehand, but it'll literally tell you. And what are these? The ladies, because they all are the same. She's the same one. She's the same one, this one here. So stop saying that as well. Say freedom or something like that. But if you want to talk about like overcoming, you can say deliverance, which we looked at when we talked about Yahusha's name, or Yasharal, who they say is Isaiah. Deliverance, or to escape, to slip out, to be rescued. That's palat. And the strong numbers are here. Or to prevail through strength, or defeat. That word is gabar. And I looked at this years ago when I found out about, my daughter's name. This was an option, gabar, yeah, but we picked tashuya. So also tashua, I don't have on here, but tashua is the next one. Or standing firm, natzal. So these are all words that you can use for that. So this is going to be another word that I'm going to have to add to it. So this one as well. So, Pala, this was informative to you. Again, you should always be doing your own research. But take a look at these mighty ones here. Take a look at the information that was presented and go further with your research. And go take a look at, again, YaHUaH's videos. He goes and look a bit more detail. Some things he may have pulled out that I didn't, right here, in this one here. All of his videos. I haven't seen a video that I didn't, wasn't truth, wasn't tube information. So anything from him on this channel or anywhere you see is going to be tube information. So yeah, don't forget to support the Giving Being fundraiser. Link is in the description, and I will try to link the videos, but they are in the playlist as well, the Watch Your Mouth playlist. So yeah, hit that like, subscribe, and bell so you know when new music drops or new videos drop and that type of stuff, because I'm not always on time. I'm somebody, and Ashatan was working yesterday. The Pickney didn't take no nap. They took about a 5-second nap, but as soon as I put the computer over, here they go. They woke up. They were cranky. My youngest is sick. So YaHUaH will heal her. No problem about that. But any pala, of course, is going to be wonderful. But yeah, it was a day yesterday. Plus, we had our fundraiser. If you did not check out that live yesterday, go back. It's on my channel and also on Ahuti Malaka's channel and also on Pastor Rick Fletcher's channel. In those terms, Pastor Rick Fletcher. So you can go and check out that replay. Make sure you give any support. It is to support our community. I have been a recipient of that. That is the only ministry that has helped me with when Melissa did come. Our ministry local here, Torch, did come out. Ahuti and Ak did come out and give us some clothes and a little bit money as well. But as far as people reaching out to other ministries on my behalf, even for my daughter, this is the only ministry who is trying to help me with my daughter, the only one. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be running some campaigns about that and about domestic violence. Ahuti Malaka and Rick Fletcher are going to try to put together, hosting me and one of the other Ahuti who has suffered, some sort of stuff, to bring some light to some of these things that they try to push in the back. So Barak YaHUaH for Connected in Spirit and Truth. They are absolutely doing the work that needs to be done. And they're small. They're a small ministry compared to some of these other bigger ministries that have been reached out to in some of these campaigns and JUSTICE, funds and organizations for our people, for Yasharal, and they get nowhere. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not helping the people. Time and time again, I've heard where they're not helping, they're not doing nothing. So I don't know who they're helping, but it's not the Yasharal who needs help. So, Halal, this was a baraka unto you, and may YaHUaH be with you. YaHUaH barak you. Shalom, mashpaka, mashpacha, salaki.